Welcome to Mr. Benjamin's Math World. Today we are going to be working with factoring a difference of squares. In order to factor a difference of squares, first we need to know what a difference of squares is. A difference of squares has two terms, always two terms. That's the first condition. Condition number two, the first term must be square. It means the first term must have square root, and the second term must also have square root, and the sign between them must be a minus sign. Actually, that is the first choice. That's the first thing that must happen in order for it to be a difference of squares. A negative sign between the two terms. How do we factor a difference of squares? Just like this. Square root of the first term, which is x. Why is it x? Because x times x is x to the second power. Why is it x times x to the second power? We know this. We know that x times x equals x. And we add the exponents. We add them. 1 plus 1 is 2. So the square root of x to the second is x. Because x times x is x to the second power. So here it is. Square root of the first term. Square root of the second term, 25. The square root is 5. Because 5 times 5 is 25. Here we are. 5 and 5. Now what? Negative and positive, or positive and negative, it will make no difference. And it is already factored. X to the second minus 25 is equals to x minus 5 times x plus 5. How can we prove this? We remember that in order to prove that this is correct, we may use the FOIL method. Let's use the FOIL method. X times x to the second power. X times plus 5 is positive 5x. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. Like terms, these two. Bring down the x to the second power. Here will be the answer. X to the second power. 5x minus 5x cancels out. And then just bring down the negative 25. And here we are. We got the same result. It means that this factoring is correct. Let's take a look at our second exercise. Is it a difference of squares? Let's see. The first term has square root? Yes. The sign between them is a negative sign? Yes. The second term also has square root. Something that would be good for you students to know when this first term has square root. Every time that the exponent is an even number, it has square root. Even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Whenever the exponent is an even number, the term does have square root. Square root, negative sign, square root. So we are in the presence of a difference of squares. Let's factor it. Square root of x to the fourth is x to the second power, x to the second power. Cos x to the second times x to the second is 2 plus 2 is 4, x to the fourth power. The square root of 81 is 9, because 9 times 9 is 81. Here it is, 9. 9. Negative and positive, positive, negative, makes no difference. Negative, positive. Let's use the FOIL method again. X to the second times x to the second is x to the fourth. X to the second times 9 is positive 9x to the second power. Negative 9 times x to the second is negative 9x to the second power. And negative 9 times positive 9 is negative 81. Like terms, here they are. Always you will have like terms when multiplying this. Result, x to the fourth, I'll bring it down. 9x to the second minus 9x to the second, they subtract, it's equals to 0, they cancel, right? And then just copy the negative 81, and here we got the result, which is the same as our difference of squares. It means that this factoring is correct. Remember that we are doing the for method in order to check, in order to prove that our factoring is correct. Our last exercise says x to the 6 minus 144. Let's see if it's a difference of squares. First of all, two terms, 1 and 2. Negative sign, yeah, between them. The first term has square root, yes, because the power is an even number. It does have square root. The second term also has square root. Now that we know it's a difference of squares, we can factor it. Square root of the first term, x to the 6, will be x to the third power and x to the third power. Because we're multiplying x to the third times x to the third, we add the powers. 3 and 3 is 6. Here it is. Square root of the second term, square root of 144 is 12. Because 12 times 12 is 144. And now, negative and positive. Let's see if it's correct. Let's use the for method. X to the third times x to the third power is x to the sixth power. X to the third times positive 12 is positive 12x to the third power. Negative 12 times x to the third is negative 12x to the third power. And negative 12 times positive 12 is negative 144. Like terms right here. Bring down the x to the 6 because it does not have any like term. The only 6 is this one. There's no other term with that same exponent. So this one does not have a like term. I'll just bring it down. Positive 12x to the third minus 12x to the third. It cancels out. Gets 0. And then just bring down the negative 144. This is the result. We compare it. Yes, it is correct. It means that this is the factoring for this factoring of difference of squares. And this is the way we factor difference of squares. If this video was useful to you, please feel free to subscribe and activate the bell in order to receive further notifications. See you next time.